Hi student, it's Kate here. In this video, I will summarize all the things that we have been studying from week 1 until week 4. So remember, in week 1, we learned how to prepare the budget, and we prepare the budget based on the budgeted sales volume. So one level of that is we call static budget. And then in week 3, we learn how to develop the standard cost and use the standard cost to prepare the static budget, flexible budget, and calculate the variances in week 4, and try to investigate the reasons for the variances as well as the interaction among variances. So this video is just to summarize what we have learned so far, so that to make sure that you have an overview of what we have been doing. So you see that I have the column for static budget, flexible budget, and actual. And the difference between the flexible budget and the static budget is the sales volume variance, because the variance is caused by the sales. The difference between the actual figures and the flexible budget, we call it the price or efficiency variances, because the variances are caused by either the selling price, or the price of inputs, or the efficiency of production. So let's get started. So you see that on the left hand side, the very left column is the format of the contribution margin income statement format, but of course I have made it very simple. First I have the sales here, and I less the cost of sales, all right, and then I less all cost of sale, including direct cost and manufacturing overhead. And then of course you know that after that we have the gross profit, right? Now if you look at the profit and loss statement of any company, and then you compare between their budget and the actual, you'll see the difference. And then they want to see why there's a difference between the budgeted profit and the actual profit, and that is the reason why they investigate into the variances. All right, and to make sure that they figure out what's go wrong and what's go right, so that they can improve. Now start with the static budget. So sales in the static budget equal the budgeted price and times budgeted sales. And then in the flexible budget, we keep the budgeted price and we replace the budgeted sales with the actual sales. And of course, for the actual profit and loss statement, the actual sales equal the actual price times actual sales. That is amount of money that we can actually get from the customer. Now for the direct materials, remember that when we develop the standard cost, we use this standard cost to prepare the static budget. So we have the standard direct material cost per unit. So for short, I will put it like this, and times the budgeted sale. And then we have the standard direct labor cost per unit, and times the budgeted sale. And then we have the standard variable overhead per unit, and times the budgeted sale. Remember that in terms of abbreviation, everyone use different, but I use this, so I think it makes sense to you. And now when it comes to the flexible budget, remember that for flexible budget, we always use the budgeted price and the budgeted or the standard cost per unit, all right? So we still have the standard direct material per unit, and we times the actual sale. Standard direct labor cost per unit, and then we times the actual sale. So you see that we keep the same thing here, and then standard variable overhead per unit, and times the actual sale. And remember that the fixed cost here is the budgeted fixed cost, right? And in the flexible budget, the fixed cost does not change. Now when it comes to the actual result, we know that the actual direct material will be the actual direct material price per unit of, for instance, price per unit, not per unit of output, but the per units of quantity of direct material used, okay, in production. So for instance, we used 200 kilogram of direct materials for this amount of sales. So we will times that with the price per kilogram of direct materials, all right? And then for direct labor, we have actual direct labor rate and times the number of direct labor hours used, okay? So here I can make it price, okay? Actual direct labor, direct material price. When we talk about price, we talk about per unit of the direct materials. And variable overhead, we have the actual variable overhead rate, right? And times the quantity of the actual quantity, I mean, right? Actual quantity of allocation base. So for instance, if allocation base is direct labor, then that is the number of actual direct labor hour. I just put it actual here. Okay, and it is actual, so don't forget it is actual direct labor use. Okay, good. And then for the fixed cost, that is the actual fixed cost. Okay, so now this is overview of what we have done, and then this the difference between this figure. So we have the gross profit here, A, B, C. So you see that the difference between A and B, okay, is caused by the budgeted sales is different from the actual sales, because given all other factors remain the same, so the difference between A and B must be because of the sales. So we call this the sales volume, okay, variance. The variance is caused by the sales, okay. And now the difference between B and C, okay, is, you see that because we all use actual sales here, actual sales, all actual sales, actual. So that means the difference between this is either because of the price, or because of the rate, or because of the quantity of direct material used, the quantity of direct labor hours used. Okay, so that is the price or the efficiency variances. All right. And now in the next video, I will talk more about what is in the sales volume variance and what is included in the price and efficiency variance. So the first thing of analyzing a variance is just to have these three: static budget, flexible budget, and actual, and then calculate the difference between static budget and flexible budget, between flexible budget and actual, and between static budget and actual, so that we have a rough overview ideas of what is the amount of variance that is most significant and is most strange, so that we have to look into. Okay, so that is what included in the variances that we calculate. All right, so I'll move to the next video, and I'll talk about what are included in these variances, and how we will interpret the variance and how they interact with each other.